What if I told you that the most powerful anti-inflammatory medicine on earth isn't sitting in your doctor's prescription pad, but growing in your backyard, piled in your grocery store produce section, and sitting in a bowl on your kitchen counter right now? Most people have been taught that omega-3s come from fish oil capsules, that the only way to get enough is to swallow a gel tab that smells like the ocean floor and hope for the best. But here's what the supplement industry doesn't want you to know. Entire civilizations were getting abundant omega-3 fatty acids from whole foods, foods that came packaged with fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that made those omega-3s work better, absorb faster, and protect the body more completely than any isolated capsule ever could. And today, I'm going to show you 20 of those foods, ranked from remarkable to absolutely extraordinary. Stick around, because number 11 on this list is a tiny seed that contains more omega-3 fatty acids per gram than most fish. And most people are eating it wrong, which means they're getting almost none of the benefit. And number 14 is a leafy green that grows wild in more than 50 countries, has been eaten since ancient Egypt, and contains more plant-based omega-3s than almost any vegetable on the planet. Yet almost nobody in the modern West has ever heard of it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we post new videos every week connecting cutting-edge nutrition science with the foods your body was built to thrive on. Let's get into it. Here are 20 omega-3 rich superfoods that will heal you instantly, ranked from remarkable to absolutely extraordinary. 1. Blueberries, the antioxidant army that makes omega-3s work. Let's start somewhere unexpected, because when most people hear omega-3 superfoods, they think fish, seeds, and nuts. They do not think blueberries. And that's exactly why we're starting here. Blueberries contain a small but meaningful amount of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, the plant-based form of omega-3. But their real contribution to omega-3 health isn't the fat itself. It's what they do to protect the fats you're already eating and producing in your body. Here's the mechanism. Omega-3 fatty acids, whether from plants or animals, are polyunsaturated fats. That means they're structurally flexible and biologically active, which is exactly what makes them healing. But that same structural flexibility makes them vulnerable. Free radicals oxidize omega-3 fats before your body can use them. Rancid fish oil is just oxidized omega-3. Inflammation from oxidized fats in your cell membranes is the same process, just happening inside you. Blueberries are loaded with anthocyanins, the deep blue and purple pigments that are among the most potent antioxidants found in any food. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that anthocyanins from blueberries significantly reduced oxidative stress markers in human subjects, protecting cellular membranes from lipid peroxidation, which is exactly the oxidation process that destroys omega-3 fats in your tissues. A separate study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that regular blueberry consumption improved endothelial function, the health of the lining of your blood vessels, which is one of the primary mechanisms through which omega-3s protect cardiovascular health. Think of blueberries as the bodyguard. They're not the main event, but without them, the main event doesn't survive long enough to do its job. Eat a handful daily. Add them to oatmeal, yogurt, or smoothies. They are the essential protective layer that makes every other food on this list work better. 2. Raspberries. Fiber, inflammation, and the gut omega-3 connection. Raspberries are one of the most fiber-dense fruits available to us. A single cup contains 8 grams of dietary fiber, more than most people get in an entire meal. And for omega-3 health, that fiber is doing something most people have never considered. Chronic low-grade inflammation is the primary enemy of omega-3 function. When your gut microbiome is out of balance, dominated by inflammatory bacteria fed by processed food, sugar, and refined carbohydrates, your body's ability to synthesize and use anti-inflammatory omega-3s is blunted. Gut inflammation drives systemic inflammation, and systemic inflammation directly counteracts what omega-3 fatty acids are trying to do. The soluble fiber in raspberries feeds lactobacillus and bifidobacterium strains, the beneficial bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. Butyrate is the primary fuel source for the cells lining your colon, and it has powerful anti-inflammatory effects throughout the body. Research published in the journal Gut found that higher dietary fiber intake was directly associated with reduced inflammatory markers, including C-reactive protein, one of the key signals of systemic inflammation that omega-3s are working to suppress. Raspberries also contain ellagic acid, a polyphenol with documented anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties studied extensively at the cellular level. Traditional herbalists across Europe and the Middle East prized raspberry leaf as a medicinal plant for cooling inflammation and supporting the body during recovery. Modern biochemistry has mapped exactly why. Eat raspberries regularly. They're clearing the inflammatory terrain that omega-3s need to operate in. 3. Blackberries. Ancient medicine. Modern mechanism. Blackberries have been eaten by humans since before recorded history. Archaeological evidence of blackberry consumption dates back over 2,500 years. Celtic and Anglo-Saxon traditions used them as food and medicine. Indigenous communities across North America used both the fruit and the root as medicine for digestive health and inflammation. These weren't accidents. These were cultures paying close attention to what their food was doing to their bodies. What blackberries provide for omega-3 health is a dense concentration of polyphenols, particularly anthocyanins and tannins, that operate through multiple anti-inflammatory pathways simultaneously. Research published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that blackberry consumption reduced activity of NF-κB, one of the master regulatory switches of inflammation in the human body. The same inflammatory switch that omega-3 fatty acids target through their conversion into specialized pro-resolving mediators, compounds your body makes from EPA and DHA to actively resolve inflammation, not just suppress it. Blackberries also provide vitamin C, essential for immune function and tissue repair, along with vitamin K, manganese, and meaningful amounts of ALA. But their deepest contribution is synergistic. They prime the anti-inflammatory environment. They reduce the inflammatory load that would otherwise consume your omega-3 supply before it could be put to healing use. Eat blackberries raw. Frozen blackberries retain their polyphenol content well and are available year-round. Add them to smoothies, yogurt, or oatmeal. They are ancient medicine with a modern molecular explanation, and they belong in your daily routine. 4. Strawberries. The vitamin C and omega-3 partnership nobody talks about. Here's something most nutrition conversations miss entirely. Vitamin C and omega-3 fatty acids are metabolic partners, and strawberries, one of the most beloved and accessible fruits on earth, are delivering one side of that partnership in every single bite. Vitamin C is required for the synthesis of carnitine, the compound your body uses to transport fatty acids, including omega-3s, into the mitochondria where they're actually burned for energy and converted into their biologically active forms. Without adequate vitamin C, fatty acid metabolism is impaired. You can eat all the omega-3s you want, but if carnitine synthesis is bottlenecked, the cellular machinery that uses those fats runs at reduced capacity. 1 cup of strawberries provides over 85 milligrams of vitamin C, exceeding the recommended daily intake in a single serving. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that higher vitamin C status was associated with significantly better cardiovascular outcomes, working synergistically with the cardiovascular protective effects of omega-3 fatty acids. Strawberries also contain fisetin, a flavonoid that research has identified as having senolytic properties, meaning it helps clear damaged and dysfunctional cells that contribute to chronic inflammation and tissue degradation. Traditional folk medicine across Europe use strawberry preparations for skin, blood, and digestive health. The science explains why. Eat them fresh. Eat them frozen. Eat them whole. Strawberries are the vitamin C anchor that makes your omega-3 metabolism run. 5. Mango. Tropical healing and the carotenoid connection. Mango has been cultivated in South Asia for over 4,000 years. Ancient Ayurvedic texts classify it as a tonic food, a food that restores vitality, supports digestion, and builds resilience against disease. Sanskrit literature describes mango as a fruit for kings and healers, and while modern nutrition sometimes reduces mango to a high-sugar tropical fruit, that framing misses almost everything that matters. Mango is exceptionally rich in beta-carotene, which converts to vitamin A in the body, and in a carotenoid called beta-cryptoxanthin. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition found that higher carotenoid status, particularly from fruit consumption, was associated with reduced inflammatory markers including interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha, two of the primary inflammatory cytokines that omega-3s work to suppress. Mango also provides mangiferin, a polyphenol found almost exclusively in mango, that has been shown in clinical research to have anti-diabetic, anti-inflammatory, and cardioprotective effects. Because metabolic dysfunction and blood sugar dysregulation directly impair the body's ability to convert plant-based omega-3s into their active forms. Foods like mango that support metabolic health are genuine allies in the omega-3 ecosystem. Eat mango fresh, frozen, or dried without added sugar. The carotenoids are fat-soluble. Eat mango with a small amount of healthy fat, like a few cashews or a drizzle of coconut milk, to improve absorption. Tropical cultures that ate mango daily weren't just eating a sweet fruit. They were medicating with one of the most bioactive foods in the tropics. 6. Kiwi, the sleep, serotonin, and omega-3 triangle. Kiwi is one of the most nutrient-dense fruits per gram of any food commonly available in the modern world. But the connection between kiwi and omega-3 health runs through a pathway most people have never considered: sleep. Research published in the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming 2 kiwi fruits 1 hour before bed for 4 weeks significantly improved sleep onset, sleep duration, and sleep efficiency in adults with self-reported sleep disturbances. The proposed mechanism involves kiwi's high serotonin content and its role in supporting melatonin synthesis. And why does sleep matter for omega-3 health? Because the conversion of ALA, the plant-based omega-3, into EPA and DHA, the biologically active forms, is enzymatically regulated. Those enzymes are profoundly sensitive to cortisol, the primary stress hormone that spikes with poor sleep. Chronic sleep deprivation elevates cortisol, suppresses the delta-6 desaturase enzyme responsible for omega-3 conversion, and blunts the anti-inflammatory benefits of every omega-3 rich food you eat. Kiwi also provides more vitamin C per gram than oranges, along with vitamin K, folate, and potassium. It contains actinidin, a proteolytic enzyme that improves protein digestion and nutrient absorption, including fat-soluble nutrients that omega-3s depend on. Eat 2 kiwi before bed, or add them to your morning smoothie. Either way, this small, bright green fruit is supporting the hormonal and enzymatic environment your body needs to actually use the omega-3s you're consuming. 7. Papaya, digestive fire, and the absorption problem. Here's a truth about omega-3 fatty acids that the supplement industry doesn't want you sitting with too long. Most people's bodies absorb and convert omega-3s very inefficiently. And the primary reason isn't the food. It's the gut. Papaya has been used as a digestive medicine across Central America, the Caribbean, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific Islands for centuries. Christopher Columbus, when he encountered papaya in the Caribbean in 1492, reportedly called it the fruit of the angels. Polynesian traditional medicine used papaya leaf and fruit to treat digestive disorders and accelerate wound healing. And the active mechanism is papain, a proteolytic enzyme in papaya that breaks down protein, reduces intestinal inflammation, and supports the overall absorptive capacity of the gut. Fat absorption, including the absorption of omega-3 fatty acids, depends on healthy bile production, functional lipase enzymes, and a gut lining free of the chronic inflammation that impairs nutrient uptake. Papaya reduces that inflammation. Studies published in Neuroendocrinology Letters found that papaya reduced markers of oxidative stress and inflammation in the gastrointestinal tract, supporting the mucosal integrity that makes fat absorption efficient. Papaya also contains lycopene, beta-carotene, vitamin C, folate, and potassium. It is a genuinely medicinal tropical food, a digestive fire starter that ensures the omega-3s you're eating actually make it into circulation, where they can do their healing work. Eat it fresh in the morning on an empty stomach for maximum digestive benefit. 8. Pomegranate, the ancient heart medicine. We are at number 8, and this is one of the oldest medicinal foods in human history. Pomegranate appears in ancient Egyptian texts. It is referenced throughout the Old Testament and the Quran, It was cultivated in Mesopotamia over 5,000 years ago. Ancient Ayurvedic medicine prescribed it for heart health, blood disorders, and inflammatory conditions. Hippocrates used it medicinally. Every major healing tradition on earth that had access to pomegranate used it as medicine, and modern clinical research has validated what every one of those traditions observed. Pomegranate is one of the richest known food sources of punicalagins, a type of L-agitanin found almost exclusively in pomegranate that is converted by gut bacteria into urolithins. Research published in Nature Medicine found that urolithins activate mitophagy, the cellular process that clears damaged mitochondria and allows cells to renew their energy production capacity. This is directly relevant to omega-3 metabolism because mitochondrial health determines how efficiently your cells convert omega-3s into anti-inflammatory compounds. A landmark study published in Clinical Nutrition found that pomegranate juice consumption significantly reduced LDL oxidation and improved arterial elasticity, working through pathways that overlap substantially with omega-3 cardiovascular protection. The combination of pomegranate and dietary omega-3s appears to be additive, each reinforcing what the other does for the heart. Eat pomegranate seeds fresh. Drink 100% pomegranate juice in small amounts. This is not a background food. This is one of the most studied, most validated heart protective foods in the entire history of nutrition science, and it belongs at the center of any serious healing protocol. If you're seeing the pattern here, that omega-3 health isn't just about eating fish oil. It's about building an entire food ecosystem that allows omega-3s to be absorbed, converted, protected, and used. Then do me a favor and hit that like button right now. It helps this video reach people who are genuinely looking for science-backed answers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click subscribe and ring the bell. We cover nutrition, longevity, and evidence-based wellness every single week, and I'd love to have you as part of this community. Now let's keep going. 9. Avocado. Healthy fats that make every omega-3 more powerful. Avocado is one of the most important foods on this entire list, not because it's the highest omega-3 source, but because of what it does to every other omega-3 source you consume alongside it. Omega-3 fatty acids are fats, and fat-soluble compounds, including the carotenoids, fat-soluble vitamins, and polyphenols in the other foods on this list, are only absorbed in the presence of dietary fat. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition found that adding avocado or avocado oil to a salad increased the absorption of carotenoids from the other vegetables by 3 to 5 times. Those same carotenoids protect omega-3 fats in your tissues from oxidative degradation. Avocado itself provides ALA, along with an exceptionally high concentration of oleic acid, the same monounsaturated fat that makes olive oil anti-inflammatory. Research shows that oleic acid reduces activity of the same inflammatory enzymes, the COX2 pathway that omega-3s target. Avocado is not a bystander. It's an active anti-inflammatory food that amplifies everything around it. Avocados also provide glutathione precursors, supporting your master antioxidant system, along with potassium, folate, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Traditional cultures in Mesoamerica ate avocado as a staple food for thousands of years. The Aztecs called it ahuacatl and considered it a food of fertility, strength, and healing. They didn't have clinical trials, but they had 3,000 years of careful observation. Eat half an avocado daily. Add it to salads, smoothies, and grain bowls. It is the fat delivery vehicle that makes every other anti-inflammatory food work better. 10. Walnuts. The brain food your ancestors knew about. Look at a walnut. Crack it open. Notice the shape. 2 wrinkled hemispheres tucked inside a hard shell, looking unmistakably like a human brain. Medieval herbalists used the doctrine of signatures, the idea that plants shaped like organs treat those organs. To prescribe walnuts for the brain, they didn't have MRI machines or double-blind studies, but they were right. Walnuts are the richest common whole food source of ALA, omega-3 fatty acids, among nuts, providing approximately 2.5 grams per ounce. But the research goes far deeper than the fat content. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging found that regular walnut consumption was associated with significantly better cognitive function in older adults. A separate randomized controlled trial from the walnuts and healthy aging study found that walnut consumption slowed brain aging as measured by functional brain imaging. The mechanism is multi-layered. ALA from walnuts is partially converted to EPA and DHA, the omega-3s most critical for brain cell membrane structure and neuroinflammation. Walnuts also contain polyphenols, particularly alagitannins, that are converted by gut bacteria into urolithins with potent anti-neuroinflammatory properties. And they contain melatonin, making them genuinely supportive of the sleep quality that, as we discussed with kiwi, determines how well your body converts and uses omega-3s. A handful of walnuts per day, about an ounce, is the dose used in most clinical research showing benefit. Eat them raw or lightly toasted. Add them to oatmeal, salads, or yogurt. They are one of the most studied anti-inflammatory foods in the world, and the ancestral wisdom and the clinical science agree. Walnuts feed the brain. 11. Chia seeds, the most omega-3 dense food. Most people are eating wrong. This is the one I teased at the beginning, and I need you to pay close attention, because most people who buy chia seeds are getting a fraction of the omega-3 benefit available to them, and a simple preparation change fixes it entirely. Chia seeds are extraordinary. A single ounce, about 2 tablespoons, contains approximately 5 grams of ALA omega-3 fatty acids. That's more than many fish servings on a per gram basis. The Aztec word chia actually means strength. Aztec warriors reportedly carried chia seeds as their primary field ration. Tarahumara runners in northern Mexico, famed for running 100+ miles through canyon terrain, traditionally fueled on chia seeds mixed with water and lime. These cultures understood intuitively that chia sustained energy, reduced inflammation, and kept the body functioning at extreme output. Here is the problem. Chia seeds have a thick outer shell. When you eat them dry, or even sprinkle them on top of food without soaking, that outer shell passes largely intact through your digestive system. The omega-3 rich interior never makes full contact with your digestive enzymes. You're excreting much of what you paid for. Soak your chia seeds. Cover them in water or milk, about 3 to 4 parts liquid to 1 part seeds, and let them sit for at least 20 minutes or overnight. The seeds gel, the shell softens, and the ALA becomes dramatically more bioavailable. Research on chia seed processing confirms that soaked and ground chia provides significantly higher bioavailable omega-3 than whole dry seeds. Make chia pudding. Add soaked chia to smoothies. Stir them into yogurt and let the mixture sit. You are holding in your pantry one of the most omega-3 dense foods on earth. Use it correctly. 12. Ground flax seeds, the oldest cultivated omega-3 crop on earth. Flax was one of the first plants ever cultivated by humans. Archaeological evidence of flax cultivation dates back 30,000 years. Ancient Egyptians wove flax into linen and ate flax seeds as a staple food. Hippocrates prescribed flaxseed for intestinal health. Charlemagne, the 8th century emperor of the Franks, reportedly passed laws requiring his subjects to eat flax seeds for their health. The same pattern repeats across cultures separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years. People who ate flax were healthier. Flax seeds contain approximately 6.5 grams of ALA per ounce, among the highest plant-based omega-3 concentrations available. They also contain lignans, a form of phytoestrogen and powerful antioxidant that has been extensively studied for hormone balance, breast cancer risk reduction, and cardiovascular protection. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition found that flaxseed consumption significantly reduced inflammatory markers, including C-reactive protein and interleukin-6. But here's the same preparation warning as chia, and it's even more important with flax. Whole flax seeds pass through the digestive tract almost completely intact. The hard outer shell is essentially indigestible. You must grind them. Buy whole flax seeds and grind them fresh in a coffee grinder. Ground flax oxidizes quickly and should be stored in the refrigerator and used within a week. Or buy pre-ground and keep it cold. 2 tablespoons of freshly ground flaxseed daily in smoothies, oatmeal, yogurt, or baked goods delivers a meaningful omega-3 dose. This is the single most ancient, most studied, most validated plant omega-3 food in human history. Use it. 13. Hemp seeds, The complete food your great-grandparents forgot. Hemp has been cultivated by humans for over 10,000 years. Fiber, medicine, and food all in one plant. In ancient China, hemp seed was classified as one of the 5 sacred grains. Traditional societies across Central Asia, India, and Eastern Europe used hemp seeds as a staple protein and fat source. And then, in the 20th century, industrial policy made hemp agriculture illegal in most of the Western world for decades, effectively erasing a 10,000-year nutritional tradition. Hemp seeds are now legal and widely available again, and it turns out our ancestors were right to prize them. Hemp seeds contain ALA, omega-3 fatty acids, but their exceptional nutritional quality comes from their fat ratio. The omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in hemp seeds is approximately 3:1, close to the ratio researchers believe is optimal for human health. Most modern diets have omega-6 to omega-3 ratios between 15:1 and 20:1, driven by industrial seed oils and processed food. That imbalance directly suppresses omega-3 function, because omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids compete for the same conversion enzymes. Hemp seeds help restore balance. Hemp seeds are also a complete protein, containing all 9 essential amino acids, and they're rich in gamma-linolenic acid, an omega-6 that paradoxically has anti-inflammatory properties and supports the conversion of ALA to EPA. Research published in Nutrition and Metabolism found that hemp seed oil supplementation improved fatty acid profiles and reduced inflammatory markers in subjects with eczema, a condition driven by exactly the omega-6 to omega-3 imbalance that hemp corrects. Add 3 tablespoons to smoothies, salads, or yogurt daily. They're soft, nutty, and require no preparation. One of the most nutritionally complete seeds available. 14. Purslane, the omega-3 weed. Ancient healers called sacred. This one will change how you look at the weeds in your garden. Purslane is a low-growing succulent plant with small oval leaves and a slightly sour lemony taste. It grows wild in gardens, sidewalk cracks, and disturbed soil across every continent. Most people in the modern West pull it out and throw it away. In doing so, they're discarding one of the most omega-3 dense vegetables on the planet. Purslane contains more ALA, omega-3 per gram, than any other leafy green or vegetable known to science. A 100-gram serving provides approximately 400 milligrams of ALA, extraordinary for a green vegetable. It was eaten in ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, and throughout India, the Middle East, and China. Hippocrates used it medicinally. Mahatma Gandhi reportedly ate it regularly. Mexican and Central American cuisines have used it continuously for centuries in dishes like ensalada de verdolagas. It is still a common market vegetable across the Middle East, Mediterranean, and Latin America. Research published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that populations consuming purslane regularly had measurably better omega-3 fatty acid status than those who did not, even without consuming fish or fish oil. The omega-3s in purslane appear alongside vitamin E, vitamin C, beta-carotene, and glutathione, a combination that both delivers and protects the fatty acids simultaneously. You can buy purslane at farmers markets, Latin grocery stores, and Middle Eastern markets, or let the purslane that's already growing in your garden survive and eat it in salads, sautéed in olive oil with garlic, or mixed into eggs. The most powerful omega-3 vegetable on Earth is growing wild and free. Most people are paying someone to remove it. 15. Edamame, the Japanese longevity legume. Japan has the highest life expectancy of any major nation on Earth. And while no single food explains that, edamame, young soybeans eaten before they harden, is a staple food of traditional Japanese cuisine that has been eaten as part of daily life for over 2,000 years. Tea ceremonies, izakayas, home kitchens. Edamame appears everywhere in Japanese food culture, and there's a reason it persisted for 2 millennia. Edamame is one of the few plant foods that provides a meaningful combination of complete protein and ALA, omega-3 fatty acids, in the same package. A 1-cup serving provides approximately 560 milligrams of ALA along with 17 grams of protein, 8 grams of fiber, and significant amounts of folate, vitamin K, iron, and manganese. The protein content is particularly relevant for omega-3 metabolism because the enzymes that convert ALA into EPA are protein dependent. Adequate dietary protein is required for those conversion enzymes to be synthesized and maintained. Research on traditional soy consumption, not processed soy protein isolates, but whole fermented and minimally processed soy like edamame, consistently shows associations with reduced cardiovascular disease risk, improved bone density, and reduced inflammatory markers. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that regular legume consumption was among the strongest dietary predictors of longevity across multiple population studies from different countries. Eat edamame steamed with sea salt as a snack. Add shelled edamame to grain bowls, stir fries, and salads. This is not a health food trend. This is a 2,000-year-old longevity food that the longest-lived population on Earth never stopped eating. 16. Pumpkin seeds, the mineral engine of omega-3 metabolism. We've talked about getting omega-3s. We've talked about protecting them. Now, let's talk about the minerals that run the enzymes that convert and activate them. Because without those minerals, the machinery stalls. And pumpkin seeds are one of the most mineral-dense foods available in any common whole food. The conversion of ALA to EPA and then to DHA requires a series of enzymatic steps. The delta-6 desaturase enzyme, the rate-limiting step in this entire process, requires zinc, magnesium, and B6 as cofactors. Pumpkin seeds are an outstanding source of both zinc and magnesium. A single ounce provides approximately 2.2 milligrams of zinc and 150 milligrams of magnesium, meaningful contributions toward the daily requirements for both. Research consistently shows that zinc and magnesium deficiency, both of which are globally prevalent, particularly in populations eating processed, refined grain diets, directly impairs the enzymatic conversion of plant-based omega-3s into their active anti-inflammatory forms. You can eat all the chia seeds and flax seeds in the world, but if your delta-6 desaturase enzyme is running without its mineral cofactors, you're converting very little of that ALA into EPA and DHA. Traditional cultures across Mexico and Central America used pumpkin seeds, pepitas, as a staple food and medicine. Ancient Aztec healers prescribed them for kidney health, parasitic infections, and inflammation. Those uses align precisely with what modern research identifies as pumpkin seeds' primary mechanisms of action. Toast them lightly. Add them to salads, soups, yogurt, and trail mix. Eat them by the handful. They are running the engine room of your omega-3 metabolism. 17. Sesame seeds. Ancient oil. Modern science. Sesame is one of the oldest cultivated oilseed crops in human history, grown for at least 5,500 years across India, Africa, and the Middle East. Ancient Ayurvedic texts call sesame the king of oil seeds. Egyptian papyri record its medical uses. Traditional Chinese medicine has used sesame continuously for joint health, skin nourishment, and longevity for thousands of years. Sesame oil appears throughout the Bible and the Torah as a symbol of health and abundance. Sesame seeds provide healthy fats, including small amounts of ALA, along with a unique compound called sesamin, a lignin with remarkable properties. Research published in the journal Lipids found that sesamin enhanced the activity of delta-5 desaturase, one of the key enzymes in the conversion of ALA to EPA and DHA. In practical terms, sesamin acts as a biochemical catalyst. It makes the omega-3 conversion process more efficient, helping your body extract more active EPA from the plant-based omega-3 sources you're eating. Sesame seeds are also exceptionally rich in calcium, iron, copper, manganese, and B vitamins, nutrients that support the overall enzymatic infrastructure of omega-3 metabolism. Sesame also contains sesamol and sesamolin, antioxidants that specifically protect polyunsaturated fats, including omega-3s, from oxidative degradation in your tissues. Use sesame oil as a finishing oil on cooked dishes. Add tahini, ground sesame paste, to dressings, dips, and sauces. Sprinkle sesame seeds on salads, grain bowls, and stir fries. 5,000 years of human cultivation doesn't happen by accident. Sesame is earning its place at the table. 18. Brussels sprouts, the cruciferous omega-3 that detoxes what destroys them. Brussels sprouts are not glamorous. They are not tropical or colorful or trendy, but from a biochemical standpoint, what they do for omega-3 health is something almost nothing else on this list can replicate. Because Brussels sprouts don't just supply omega-3s, they remove the toxins that destroy them. Brussels sprouts belong to the cruciferous vegetable family, alongside broccoli, cauliflower, and kale, and they contain a group of compounds called glucosinolates that are converted in the body to sulforaphane and indole-3-carbinol. These compounds are among the most potent activators of the liver's phase 2 detoxification enzymes. What that means practically? Brussels sprouts help your liver clear the environmental toxins, heavy metals, and metabolic waste products that impair cellular function, including the function of the enzymes responsible for omega-3 synthesis and conversion. Brussels sprouts also provide approximately 135 milligrams of ALA per cup, making them one of the better vegetable sources of plant-based omega-3. They are rich in vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and manganese, and they contain kaempferol, a flavonoid with documented anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties. Research published in Cancer Prevention Research found that regular cruciferous vegetable consumption was among the strongest dietary predictors of reduced cancer risk across multiple population cohorts, a benefit that works through the same inflammatory pathways omega-3s target. Roast Brussels sprouts at high heat with olive oil and sea salt until caramelized. That caramelization is what converts skeptics. Don't boil them. Boiling destroys both the glucosinolates and the vitamin C. Roast them and let the chemistry work. 19. Spinach, the everyday healer. Spinach has been cultivated for over 2,000 years, originating in ancient Persia before spreading through Arabic medicine to Europe and eventually the world. Medieval physicians prescribed spinach for blood disorders and recovery from illness. Catherine de' Medici reputedly loved spinach so much that she brought Florentine chefs to France specifically to prepare it, which is why dishes made with spinach are still called Florentine in classical French cuisine. This is a vegetable with a history of healing that stretches across cultures and continents, and the biochemistry of spinach for omega-3 health is genuinely remarkable. Spinach provides ALA omega-3s in modest amounts, about 350 milligrams per cooked cup, but its deeper contribution is through magnesium and folate. Magnesium is a cofactor for the delta-6 desaturase enzyme that drives omega-3 conversion. Folate supports the methylation cycle, the biochemical process that regulates gene expression for hundreds of metabolic functions, including those that control inflammatory responses. Spinach also contains thylakoids, the membrane structures from chloroplasts that have been shown in research published in the journal Appetite to reduce hunger hormones and improve satiety, which supports the dietary consistency needed to eat healing foods long-term rather than in short bursts. Spinach is extraordinary because it's so easy to eat in large quantities. Raw in salads, it's mild and neutral. Cooked in olive oil with garlic, it reduces dramatically in volume. You can eat what was once a pound of raw spinach in 3 bites. Blend it into smoothies, and you'll taste almost nothing. Daily spinach is one of the highest return, lowest friction upgrades you can make to your diet. It has been healing people for 2,000 years. It is healing people right now. 20. Kale, the king of green medicine. And here we are, number 20. Saved for last, because kale represents something important. Not just a nutrient profile, but a philosophy of eating that is the foundation of everything we've built together in this video. Kale has been cultivated since ancient Greece and Rome. It was the dominant winter green across northern Europe through the medieval period. When nothing else grew in the cold, kale survived. It provided vitamin C in winter months, when scurvy would otherwise claim lives. It fed populations through famines. Scotland had such a deep cultural relationship with kale that the word kale was used in Scottish dialect simply to mean food. Your dinner was your kale. That's how central it was. Kale provides ALA omega-3s, approximately 120 milligrams per cup raw, alongside one of the most complete micronutrient profiles of any plant food. Vitamin K in quantities that support both bone health and cardiovascular health. Vitamin C in concentrations exceeding many fruits. lutein and zeaxanthin in quantities that protect eye and skin tissue, sulforaphane precursors that activate liver detoxification, K-empherol and quercetin, two of the most studied anti-inflammatory flavonoids in nutritional science. Research published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that higher intake of leafy green vegetables was among the strongest dietary predictors of slower cognitive aging, with regular leafy green consumers having cognitive profiles consistent with being 11 years younger than those eating the least. The omega-3s, the folate, the vitamin K, and the antioxidants in kale are all independently associated with brain health. Together, they are a complete neurological defense system in plant form. Massage raw kale with olive oil and sea salt to break down the cell walls and improve both texture and nutrient availability. Sauté it with garlic. Add it to soups. Blend it into smoothies. Roast it into chips. However you get it in daily. Because this is a food that has kept people alive, healthy, and resilient through the hardest conditions human history has produced. If you made it all the way here, you've just received a complete, science-backed blueprint for healing your body with omega-3 rich superfoods. Not pills, not powders, not prescriptions. Real food, whole food, food your body already knows how to use. Let me leave you with the framework. Build your omega-3 foundation with the true power sources: chia seeds, ground flax seeds, hemp seeds, walnuts, and purslane. Activate and amplify omega-3 conversion with the mineral and enzyme support from pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, spinach, and edamame. Protect your omega-3s from oxidation and inflammation with the antioxidant armies in blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, and pomegranate. Clear the cellular terrain with the detoxifying cruciferous power of Brussels sprouts and kale, and support the entire system with the fat-soluble nutrient delivery of avocado, the digestive fire of papaya, the carotenoid medicine of mango and kiwi, and the ancient heart protection of pomegranate. This is not a supplement protocol. This is a food sovereignty strategy, available to anyone. Starting today, the food industry wants you dependent. It wants you confused. It wants you buying expensive capsules of isolated nutrients extracted from whole foods that cost a fraction of what they charge you, because whole foods don't have profit margins. But the wisdom to heal yourself with real food has been in front of you this entire time. Smash that like button if this video changed the way you think about what's on your plate. Drop a comment below and tell me which food on this list surprised you the most. Are you team chia seeds, team purslane, or team walnuts? I read every single comment, and I love hearing from this community. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Because the most powerful medicine doesn't come in a bottle. It comes on your plate, and now you know exactly what to put there.